Shalom and welcome to Branch of Israel. This is Rabbi Roger coming to you from God's beautiful country, Israel. Sometimes we think that we have everything figured out, and other times we do not. If God is truly in control of your life, then it should be a no-brainer. Just follow His lead. It is like I tell everyone, if God gives you the desire to do something, and the grace and the peace are with it, then you could even live on an island with a small store and 3 people. In other words, you better know you are called to something before you do it. That is what happened to my wife and myself. I had no desire to come to Israel to visit, yet alone to live here. But now look at me. It turns out that Abraham and Sarah had a similar call to a faraway land themselves. Since he was willing to follow God at all cost, he was willing to see what the blessings would be in following him. Now know this, before my wife and I met, she knew she was going to Israel since her rebirth. She knew she was called, but did not know that she needed someone with a Jewish background to help get her here. So being a single mother, she prayed for a Christian man, and along I came. Unbeknownst to me, there was a hidden agenda between her and God. Yet, somehow I needed my feelings and my heart changed towards Israel. For me, I looked at it like this. Since I was already Jewish, why do I need to go? After all, I already have a physical connection to there. 13 years after we met, God told me that we were going to Israel. Yet it was still another 13 years before we actually moved here. God gave us all kinds of prophecies and hints with people visiting Israel, then bringing us back little gifts and telling us we are going. In my last job in America, the Lord told me how long I would work there, and it would be a stepping stone to Israel. Now, when God tells you something is going to be a stepping stone, does that mean the next step will be Israel? Or is this a preparation time for going to Israel, but I still have another step to take? Needless to say, it worked out just like He told me. So up until this point, I knew that we were in the middle of God's will, but the grace from my job was lifting, and I knew that it was time to move on. In other words, when the pillar of fire moves, it is time to go. Towards the end of our preparation time to leave, the Lord showed us how we knew that we were out of time. My wife's watch that she had had for years finally died and would not work even with 2 new batteries. So we bought her another one. It did not work. Went back to exchange it. It did not work. Called the company and had them ship us a quote-unquote working watch. That did not work. So I finally realized it was time to go. 2 weeks after arriving in Israel, my wife told me that the original watch started working again. And it still works to this day 12 years later. So why am I telling you all of this? Mostly to encourage you not to give up. Mostly to encourage you to move on and not stay in one place, especially if you know you are called somewhere else. Has the pillar of fire in your life already moved? For more teachings and information, visit branchofisrael.com. Again, this is Rabbi Roger coming to you from Israel, and thank you so much for listening. Goodbye, or see you again.